Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yesterday I was still talking about my experience at the jail in Rancho Cucamonga, which I looked up is actually, it was actually the jail in San Bernardino County, a section of that jail. Anyway, so out of the blue, I get a roommate. And at first she seems really nice. She didn't smell very good. She smelled terrible. And it wasn't her fault. It was because sometimes you have to wait a really long time to get a shower in jail. They don't always let you take a shower right away, especially if you are not in your right mind and you'll randomly say erratic things or whatever. They'll just keep you in your cell and not let you take a shower or whatever. And also, they had brought her from somewhere else. I don't know where, like maybe another jail or something. And so I believe she was schizophrenic. And the first day that she got there, so, and mind you, I had already been on meds for a couple of months. So I was like 75% myself. It's weird when you come back from a manic episode, it's not all of a sudden. It's kind of like in stages, like you start to look at things differently and things start to like make more sense, and then you gradually become really depressed is usually what happens, because then you realize that you were completely out of your mind, and then you have to deal with that and mending relationships and everything else. But anyways, I remember she was telling me like some weird stuff, like she was a homo sapien from another planet, or I don't know, some weird stuff. I remember she told me that her parents kept her in a house in a room in her backyard so she didn't hurt anyone, and that she was there because she had punched her brother or hurt her brother. And when I think back on it, I think that that's probably what she believed happened, but that's probably, like, I'm sure her parents just didn't like keep her in a back house like she was in a cage all the time. I'm sure that's not what happened. She probably just, wasn't in her right mind. But she wouldn't take the medication. So when they would come by, like, they give you the pill, the psychiatrist would prescribe you whatever, and then the nurse would come by and give you your prescription. And she wouldn't swallow the pills, she'd hide them, and because they just give you the pill and then they check under your tongue. But people, sleight of hand, it's so easy to just like pretend like you took it when you didn't. I never did it. I'm always afraid of getting in trouble. I'm like a scaredy cat that way. But she really started, like, after like a day and a half, she really started to like get scary. Like, she started like talking to herself, and like at one point she started hitting herself repeatedly and like making these weird moaning sounds, and I was like scared out of my mind. And what happened was there was an hour where we could come out like we could every day, and she was out there, and the guard was telling her something, and she was talking back to the guard and ignoring the guard. And so she was already on the guard's like alert, and then and she screamed at her and told her to go back in her cell. And one of the other inmates, actually the lady that had put the screwdriver in her fiance or boyfriend, whatever's head, she was like all motherly kind of, and she's like, hey, because I had mentioned her that this chick was like going crazy, and I was getting really scared. And so she said something to the guard like, hey, she's acting weird and threatening her too. And she hadn't threatened me, but she was freaking scaring the crap out of me. And then so I'm there in my cell, and you really, like, there are guards that show you compassion and kind of just know that you're just kind of off, that you've had an episode. Some people understand that, some people don't. And there are also, like, guards that are just like very power trippy and jerks, but then there's also guards that actually care. And the smallest thing will like make your day. Like, I remember one time one of the guards like just like gave me an extra orange in the morning, and that like totally like made my day. But I forget where I was going with this. I was gonna mention Oh, so anyway, so because the other girl in the jail had said something to that guard, like within like her saying something to that guard within like an hour, like she was like taking me out of my cell and putting me in a cell by myself, thank God, because I was like really getting scared. Like I was literally curled up in a fetal position when her and another guard like opened the door and like moved me to another cell. And I remember I was so pissed off at her the day before because she took like a full like 12 hours to get me a roll of toilet paper. I had extra because you learn in jail, like you have to ask for these things. You learn like ask for it and get it when you can. So like load up on it, because certain people, you'll ask them for it and they'll ignore you. So I was so mad at her. Really, she just forgot, but I was so grateful that I was moved like by myself, because I was really scared. And I don't ever know what happened with that girl. I'm sure she was really nice if she would have just been on medication. But, you know, the unfortunate thing is when you have mental illness and you haven't kind of been fostered to understand what it is and how dangerous it can be, you can fall through the cracks like a lot of these people. Thankfully, I had someone that was there for me and, you know, a lot of positive influences. But anyway, who knows what I'll talk about tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Thank you to my new subscribers. You're awesome. I really hope we can build a community here. All right. Have a great night. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.